And welcome back to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And we had education on the first part, and we've got higher education on this part. I have Michael Stokes from Cleveland State Community College with me. And I called Michael and said, I think I emailed you actually, and said, there's a new thing out that the governor's done, and I want to know about it. But then there's also some other things that are happening in higher education that we need to know about. But the ad in the paper said, Cleveland State Community College, don't wait. Adult students can go for free now.
That's right.
You want to start there?
That's right. We'll start there. Thanks,
All right.
Thanks for having me, Nancy.
Well, thanks for being willing to come on.
Sure. So the message that we really do want to give is to not wait. If you're an adult and you haven't ever taken advantage of opportunities that you may or may not have had to complete a college degree, now's the time to do that. There's no time like the present. Governor Haslam made an official announcement in his State of the State address in early February, and then the legislation was signed in late May, called the Tennessee Reconnect Act.
Right.
So, and that will, and we'll get into this more, that will provide funding beginning in 2018 for adults to go back to school, similarly to the way the Tennessee Promise program has provided money for students coming right out of high school. Reconnect will do that for adults. And we'll get into why that is and how that works. But for today, we want people to know that today, this year, fall 2017, at Cleveland State, we've made it possible for adults to not wait for that money a year from now, but to go ahead and come today.
How neat.
So thanks to the generosity of our Cleveland State Foundation and some other funds we were able to put together, we have money for adult students this fall of 2017 to get started back on that degree today.
Okay, is that a limited amount of money? So is it like a first come, first serve, or how are you going to work this money for them to start a year earlier?
Sure. So there are some limited funds, but we anticipate that we've got money set aside for anybody who might need it. There are a couple of criteria. One is it's for people who haven't had a chance to finish a college degree yet. So someone who doesn't have a degree, you complete your application for Cleveland State, which is online, no charge, takes about 5 minutes. You complete the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And that will tell us and will tell you as a student how much federal or state aid you may qualify for. And then the Reconnect money, or our Adult Promise Scholarship for right now, will cover that gap. If your bill for 2 classes is $1,000 and say you're going to get about $750 in federal or state aid, we will cover that additional $250 so that your balance is zero.
How neat. Okay, Now this applies to the classes. Does this also apply to books and other supplies we might need?
Covers basic tuition and mandatory fees, but does not cover books.
Okay.
We have other scholarship programs that can assist with books or loan programs that can assist with books. And there are lots of options for getting textbooks these days too, so you can help control your costs that way by doing used books or rental books or electronic books or things like that.
How neat. Well, I remember when I was at Tennessee Wesleyan, my biology book was about this thick, and folks, that was years ago, and that sucker cost $65.
That's right.
And I used
it's a little more than $65 today.
Okay, I used it 1 quarter.
Yeah.
We were on quarters then, not semesters. I used it 1 quarter, and then I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
I may have sold it as a used book, but to me, this is so exciting. Now I know we have the promise that takes our high school seniors, and go over that just a little bit in case any of our high school seniors that just graduated don't understand. They can go to Cleveland State on
That's
this.
right, and really we're in a cycle now where we're beginning to talk to students who are the high school class of 2018 because it's time to start thinking about that too. All of those initiatives are part of Governor Haslam's Drive to 55 program, and that is called that because the idea is that by 2025, we as a state are striving to get 55% of our population with a post-secondary credential, either a certificate or a degree.
Okay, now I'm glad you said that because I thought surely we're not going into 2055.
No.
Okay, by 2025, we want 55%. Okay,
yes,
great.
Exactly. So, and the state is making strides on that. Tennessee Promise was the first real marquee piece of that program. So it takes the access question away from people who wonder if they can go to college because of funding. So now at kitchen tables across the state, people are sitting down with their high school students saying, yes, you can go to college. where would you like to go? What would you like to do? How can we get you there? But yes, you can go.
Right.
So that's proved to be really valuable. Fall of 15, there was a big upsurge in enrollment at the community colleges, particularly among students coming right from high school because of the newness of the Tennessee Promise program. So it proved really successful in terms of getting more students to us across the state. In Bradley County, we were fortunate for about 3 years prior to that, thanks to the generosity of Alan Jones,
Right.
we had the Bradley Achieves program. So Tennessee Promise takes that type of program and makes it a statewide program so that it's available in all 95 of our counties.
Now, a couple of things. First of all, you have a lot of two-year programs that are degreed or certificated or whatever you want to say, that 2 years and you're qualified to go out into the
Exactly.
workforce.
Yes.
And so they don't necessarily have to look at 4 years, but you also work hand in hand with most of our state or large universities. So when they go 2 years to Cleveland State, it can transfer to some of these other schools if they want a 4-year degree.
Right, exactly. And that also is part of the Drive to 55 initiative, is doing things that make it easier for students to start at a community college because it's less expensive. For the student, it can be free except for books. And there are programs that have been put in place to make it easier for those students to start a community college and transfer to the universities. So the state's done a lot of work over the last several years to make that happen. That's going well. There are always tweaks to make, always improvements to make. But we have about a third of our students who come to us planning to transfer and get 4-year degrees. And they're in what we call Associate of Arts or Associate of Science programs. Another third that come planning really just to do a certificate, a 1-year program like our EMT program, for example,
Yes.
is a certificate that a student can complete in 1 academic year. And then another third that are in our applied science degrees, our Associate of Applied Science. And we've got programs in technology areas and healthcare areas like nursing and medical assisting and other things that really, like you said, are designed to help people get in and get a degree that is marketable in the workplace and leads to employment. And a lot of those folks eventually will go on and get 4-year degrees too, but their intent is to get to the workplace quickly.
That is true. And I know Gary Farlow at the Chamber talks often about the fact he's a product of a 2-year community college, and then he went on to get a degree,
Right.
knowing what he wanted to do. But now, one thing that pops up in my mind, because I have a friend whose son is going to enter your welding class.
Yes.
Now, is that a 1-year, 2-year program? Is that, and that's a certificate, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're licensed. Once we finish that, we can go out and weld.
Yes, exactly. It's a 1-year certificate program, and that's one of the new things that we have that I'll mention too, some things that are new and exciting for fall of 17 at Cleveland State. We added a welding program over the course of the last year, and so we'll be enrolling our 2nd class this fall in welding because that's a really high demand field in
Yes,
our area.
it is.
With the construction boom and things that are going on and growth in industry in our region, there was a big need for welders. So that's something that's a popular program for us that we're enrolling for. We also totally revamped all of our advanced technology programs. So we now have a mechatronics program, which again really fits well with the needs of business and industry to provide them the workers that they need.
That's a big term now.
Yes.
Megatronics.
Yes.
And that can cover a whole lot of things.
Exactly.
Which I think is just fascinating. And sometimes people can do a 2-year program in that, or they can go on to advanced education.
Yes, exactly.
Now, does Tennessee Promise work for those students that are coming into those programs
Yes, it
too?
does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Any of our certificate or degree programs. And the Adult Promise program for adults, and then for the future for Reconnect, that will count for all of our degree and certificate programs.
And see, that's to me, that's wonderful, because if someone, not my age, but somebody 20 years younger than me decides they want to go into nursing, they've never been to college, they want to go into nursing, or they want to become a welder, because welders make good money,
Yes, they
folks.
do.
They make
Yes,
really
they
good
do.
money, and they're needed in a lot of our industries. Doug Berry told me one day, just in passing, he said, I could use 100 welders right now.
Right.
And I'm thinking, holy smoke, but I guess everything has to be put back together if it comes apart
Yes,
in
that's right.
industry. So, and then But then you also have the classes that will lead into them going to a 4-year degree if they want to.
Yes, we do. And we did some revamp and expansion of some of those programs too. Because of the increase in activity in manufacturing in the state, there's a greater demand for engineers as well. So in addition to the engineering programs that we had already, we've beefed up and added mechanical engineering as an emphasis. We also have civil engineering emphasis and electrical engineering emphasis as well, so that a student could start with us. And maybe that's someone right out of high school who says, I want to do engineering and I want to start at Cleveland State and transfer to UTC or Tennessee Tech or UT Knoxville. Or maybe it's an adult in the community who's been working in industry who says, you know, I've been doing this on the technician end and my employer has said there's a future for me here. And I want the opportunity to go back and add to the education and training that I have and become an engineer.
Now, see, that's a neat idea. I hadn't
yes.
thought about that, but yes.
And you know, that's the beautiful thing about community colleges is we exist to serve all of those students. And we exist to give people another chance in some cases that maybe they didn't go to school when they first got out of high school, or maybe they started and something happened in their lives and they couldn't finish. Or didn't finish. And they come back and say, you know, it's time for me now.
Well, now this adult promise, let's just say someone started college 30 years ago. They still can benefit from this.
Yes.
This new program.
Yes.
Because they're adults, they've been away for a while, they just come back and they can do this same thing.
They don't have a degree. They're what's called an independent student according to the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, which means you're either 24 or older, or there are some other qualifiers for folks who are under 24. If you have a dependent or something like that, you may be classified as an independent student for financial aid purposes. You only have to take 6 hours. You do not have to go to school full time. You can qualify taking 6 hours. So
now, y'all are
it's
on the
pretty
semester
simple.
system.
Yes.
Okay.
That's 2 courses basically a semester.
And a semester usually runs, what, 3 months, 3.5 months? So that would be, and you do classes from 8 till, well, you do evening classes too, don't you?
We do lots of evening classes and lots of opportunities online as well.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So now, don't wait.
Don't wait, exactly.
Don't wait, folks, don't wait. You need to call now if you're an adult student and would be interested in this. Who do they need to call over at Cleveland State?
If you'll call the main office number at 472-7141 and ask for admissions or financial aid, they can connect you with the right folks.
Very good. Now, Michael, I didn't tell him, and your position over there is?
Sure. I'm Vice President for Student Services, so I have responsibility for those types of things and student activities and athletics and counseling and job placement. And another thing I'll mention too is we have a student success program that we've initiated about a year ago so that all of our students are assigned to a success coach. And that's a person who helps you as a student to make sure that we are removing any barriers we can or helping you get through anything that's getting in the way of you being successful. So you have a team of folks from a success coach to an academic advisor to your faculty members to the tutoring and learning center to our career counselors. All those folks operate as a team to help our students succeed because through Tennessee Promise and Reconnect and other initiatives, there's a lot that's been done to make college even more accessible to folks, but we want to help them succeed, not just get there, but succeed and graduate.
Right, and if as long as they are succeeding on every little step, they will stay there and continue to. And a lot of times, if you've had a bad experience before, you run into a roadblock now, you just kind of say forget it, and that's not good. And this opportunity is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, it is. It is. We're excited.
If I didn't already have couple of degrees, I'd come over there because I think this is just so awesome, and I think that's one reason I called Michael and asked if he would come on because I want people to know about this. And what I love is the don't wait.
That's right.
You need to sign up now.
That's right. That's right.
And if you don't want to go till 2018, that's still okay because your name's in the hat.
That's right. Exactly.
Give them that phone number one more time.
It's 472-7141, and you can ask for admissions or financial aid.
Michael, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you,
folks,
Nancy.
Cleveland State is our college here in town, and we need to be sure we support it. It's wonderful, and it's one of those situations where you don't have to pay for a dormitory, and you just can go home and Mama can wash your clothes, like Alan was talking
That's
about
right.
earlier.
That's
So,
right. So,
Michael, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. And again, watch our commercials and support our sponsors because they help pay our bills. We'll be right back.